Do you have like a computer visual on what we're producing here?
No.
Okay.
Does it say that it's recording to SD card?
It just says recording.
Nice.
Sweet.
First podcast, dude.
Pretty amazing, man. We just literally talked about this. Is how serious Zach gets when he gets jacked up. Like, talked about it. We both got worked up. Calls me at like 10 o'clock at night. And he's like, it's going down. The next day, names, ideas, visitors. And then he comes in the other day and he's like, I ordered all of it. It's coming tomorrow. I'm like,
all the stuff.
not even playing around with this. It's going down. Joe?
Well, dude,
Glad to be here.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
thanks for running that board, Joe.
No problem.
He just likes pushing those buttons with the funny sounds on.
I think it's
Excuse to wear the glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Fits your persona with the mixing board and the blue lights on now. So, what is the future hold for this thing? Pretty serious endeavor.
Yeah, man. Thanks for putting it back in the brain.
Sparked mine. I feel like it had been on yours for a while.
It had ever since the last office.
Really? Was that long ago you were already trying to do this? Or at least thinking about it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I should try to find the like paper that I had written all my notes on.
Yeah, it's probably filled with solid gold nuggets instead of trying to relive all the ideas again.
Stuff goes in the brain and then it like goes right out, so you have to write it down. Otherwise, it's gone.
Yeah. The remembering certain things versus other things. But
Yeah.
the name's fire. The name is fire.
You really think so?
I do. I was like, woke up to it. And I was like, because I was like, fell asleep mad early the other night. And literally, it's the first thing I look at, and I'm like, yeah, it works.
What were some of the other names that we were trying to do?
I don't know.
What is the name first?
Building Excellence, a idea by Zach Neville.
Oh, nice.
Laugh track from Joe. I think some of the names, and I read through them a bunch. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I was like really sitting there thinking like some of this is like kind of corny. Like even the ones that like I wrote, I was like, it doesn't come across as like direct. It was like we were forcing names. You know,
Well, that's the thing with brainstorming, right? When you're brainstorming, you gotta just whatever comes to mind, write it down.
I know. I was
That's
like
how
watching your name like write stuff, and I'm in there, and like he's waiting for me to write something in there.
I was waiting for it.
Then my
What
dog.
do we
had
have?
it.
We had
It was something with clean hands type of motto from there.
oh yeah,
Not gonna-
that
not
was
gonna
while we were driving, I think.
Yeah, not going to steal their trademark line now, but
Clean hands, dirty hands, clean money.
yeah, exactly. Beat us to the punch by 18 months, 2 years. But yeah, I think all of them kind of had the idea of
All of
those-
them had something to do with construction. It was just like corny because we were trying to think of it off the fly.
Right, exactly. I think if you went back and you can like look and take pieces of some of the names, it would have came up. But lightning struck and it was done.
I was trying to set this thing up on Saturday, and that was when I realized that I hadn't ordered the microphone cables. So I'm sitting there, and this thing's in front of me, and I'm like, man, I can't even like test it out, you know, like it's just chilling there. And I don't know, a name's super important. So I was sitting there trying to think about some stuff, and what I think I told you this the other day, but what came to mind was I was looking at this microphone, and what came to mind was the golden EIB microphone from Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Excellence in broadcasting. So it like got me thinking about excellence again, and then I was thinking about my favorite podcaster, Bradley, and his podcast is just dropping bombs. It's like flies off the tongue, you know.
Yeah.
And we have to have a name that does fly off the tongue, that people remember, and that can be related to multiple different things, not just carpentry.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's not going to be a one topic situation. It's going to be multiple different people with multiple different topics going on. So it's like,
Can you imagine how boring that would be? Just one topic.
I'd be
over
like this.
and over and over again.
What happened? It was like,
Hey, we're reviewing a hammer today.
where's the laugh track on that show? Thank you. Oh, crickets.
Crickets.
Yeah. Yes. Today we have the S-Wing 19-ounce hammer. This topic will be the shortest video ever. We both swung it. It's a hammer, and it drives nails excellent.
It's got a metal frame with a rubber handle.
We'll just be sitting here with two hammers on the camera.
Going to nails.
I'm sure there's
This
going to be
is
some
a
tool
framing
review,
nail.
though. I'm sure there will be tool review.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Well, imagine just a podcast about just carpentry. I mean, carpentry is our trade, but I feel like there's so much more here.
Oh,
Like,
without
this
a doubt.
company is way more than just a construction company.
Yeah, I mean, once you start getting, like, people in here, I got to remember to talk right into this giant round thing. People in here who have different personalities and ideas on things, I think this thing's just going to just turn into its own animal.
Well, you and me both know we already have a bunch of different personalities in here.
in my head.
Well, they're all in your head because they all talk to you.
That's right. We just wake up in the morning and put all the crazy ones away and then say, all right, I got to go deal with the other crazy ones.
Right? I feel like that's just the name of the game when you're inspiring and building up a team. Everyone has their days. Everyone has their moments.
Do you think everybody's going to want to even be on this? And, like, seriously, like, can we picture all the guys? Like, who can we not? I mean, I feel like they all, once they get in front of the mic, will have something to say. All our guys are super outspoken, so it's like...
They're all super talented.
Exactly. I think they want
They all have different perspectives.
probably be pouring some informational nuggets out there, too, you know? A lot of years doing a lot of different things for most of these guys.
Well, that's why we got to do it later, you know? You have a couple beers, it loosens everyone up.
Gonna have to definitely have that mute button on hand, Joe.
I got it.
I think there's a profanity meter over there, like some kind of app you can put on.
Really?
Yeah, when I was downloading the updated software for the thing, it came up.
What does it do? Does it like
I
buzz
don't
my
know.
earphones when
Maybe
I'm like
just
doing
maybe just a bleep.
like Pavlov's dog like teaches me to not
Bleep.
swear?
Make sure we don't get canceled.
Every time I get like I curse, I get like a buzz. I'm like, I gotta stop cursing.
I feel like it really wouldn't like for what we're gonna do with this podcast. I feel like a little cursing's not really the worst.
No, because if we were sitting here like super dry, the one follower is gonna be like our one stalker is gonna literally like try to come kill us and wear us as a suit. The one guy, if we were that like boring. You know?
Well, that's the thing with the social media is like there's so many people that see that, and you want to be careful about what you're putting out there and whose ears are listening.
Oh,
But for
for
a podcast, like for a full length podcast, like who's going to really listen to that? A few people.
Exactly. When you're putting like the video portion of the show on Instagram or, you know, if it's a YouTube thing, you can always have, you know, saying like, look, this is not going to be for everybody to listen to. Like, don't turn it on and let's get the whole family around because sometimes we are construction workers.
Right.
You know?
Conversation might get a little rough.
Exactly. Typical swearing can occur from time to time. You know, I think...
That's just part of the business, I think.
especially after a long day, you know, if it comes to a day where we're going to have all the guys in here and have this conversation, it's been a beat up day, and there's
For
a
sure.
couple pops flowing through. Might be one of the more interesting broadcasts.
Dude, that one's going to be interesting. We're going to have a mic that we just like can pass around.
Absolutely. Or take these little duff filters. I wonder, there's got to be a way to like have a center pickup or something like that.
Well, you can set this mic wherever. There's like little stands. You can set it on the table.
No, no kidding.
Yeah, they come with the thing.
The goodie box over there.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. But, I mean, if we have the whole room, the team's going to fill out this room, like, to the max. Have to be able to pass it around.
Did you mention, who knows about this besides like the few? Like us three, Ryan. Does like...
I think, was Eric here when we were talking about it?
I don't think so.
I don't think he was either. Maybe it was just Ryan.
Yeah. But like Jill,
Oh, Jill knows about it for
Suzanne.
sure. Suzanne does not.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's going to be pretty cool.
It's gonna blow people's minds for sure.
Especially once we start having some of these guests on.
And that's the thing. Once you start putting like really different personalities in people, you're gonna see like real people's like kind of who they are if they can come in here willing to put like as if we have other contractors.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they can put
It's
their
gonna be
bullshit
great.
aside and literally come in and just be like, dude, it's promoting you too, man. It's like, look,
That's the whole point of it. It's just like to get our thoughts and viewpoints out and get other people's thoughts and viewpoints out too. I mean, when are you ever going to have that unless you have an intimate conversation with somebody?
You don't. And most of the platforms that like all these people use is so based on like small clips that they're doing. Like you see some of these other guys and you follow their Instagram or Facebook pages, you only get that allotted time to get your piece of information across. You know, if people are dialed in to hear the whole thing, you know it's different than that like someone just scrolling and like, oh, he's still talking about this. Because like I've seen some other contractors who do like 2-minute videos. It's like click, click as it goes across Instagram. And I'm already like, I'm tired of this. Please.
Hearing them talk.
Please moving on. Moving on.
Well, it's definitely a skill in itself, just like controlling what you post and what you put out there.
Oh, without a doubt.
You can't just like throw up on everyone all the time.
Exactly. That's why I just tell you that I don't know how to do Instagram, so you don't make me do shit all the time.
Dude, everyone needs to get on those stories.
You literally took my phone and were like, this is how you do it. And I'm like, I still don't know how to do it, Zach.
Well, what did you say to me the other day? You're like, I see a direct correlation in the amount of stories that we posted per day and how many leads come in.
And how many sales come in. Absolutely. It's not even a joke. And then I was talking to Sam on Friday after work, and he's starting to notice a pattern about like when he posts on what time over the weekend. So he's doing like his homework as far as that's concerned, because he said Sunday gets crushing
Views.
slot time. Yeah, for sure. And
Everyone's home.
And then if you look at sales, like I should have looked at it today because he posted Sunday. He reposted that roof job. And then I should have looked to see what actually came in on
I don't
Sunday.
think any roofs.
No, but I mean, just like people
In
looking.
general?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's still just like a tag for the company. So it's like,
For sure.
did a bunch more come in Sunday and Monday morning based
Well,
on that?
I know we were cleared out on Friday, 100% cleared out.
Yep.
And then between Friday and today, I mean, like I said, I thought we had 8 leads come in.
There were 12 when I popped
emails.
in this morning.
Even better.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely a buzz about ZN. People want us to quote their stuff
Well, that's
and
what I
do
was,
their stuff.
Absolutely. That's what I was staying on top of Sam about when we were talking. I was like, you got to keep the product pumping, because the second you lose that
Momentum?
Yeah, or that talk or that buzz or that it factor behind it, people are like, the attention span is just like
Short.
especially because you're scrolling. Everybody's looking so fast through social media and things like
Well,
that.
dude, how many companies are there around here? So many to choose from.
For sure. I think a lot of people actually don't know how to get a hold of some of these guys. Like when I worked at Miners, I would get so many people coming in and being like, can you give me somebody who's qualified, talented, and can handle this project? And I would literally scratch my head. You know what I mean? Some of the times, a ton of the times, I would obviously give Zach's business card out. And then I'd have other people. It's like, wow, I just did a bunch here. Like, let's feed some other people. And I'm like sitting there like, who?
Right?
You know?
Well, I mean, my perspective from sitting behind the Facebook screen, is I see so many people commenting all these guys. And I've started to recognize some of the guys for sure over the years that I've been commenting, like promoting us.
Yeah.
But I recognize them as being promoted on social media, but I don't know who they are. I've never seen any of their work. I've never talked to anyone personally who's used them.
Right.
Most of them, the bigger names for sure.
Which I think this is why this is a super awesome platform.
For sure. Get everybody's name out there.
Exactly. And it'll give you their chance to come in, and if they're not hyper focused on marketing or digital marketing, it may be an introduction to that for them.
Exactly.
And that's cool too, because
that's the fact, is that there's always going to be more work than there are people available to do it.
well,
It's
at least
just when does it come in and who gets it and who wins the bid, all that.
yeah, and you're already setting the precedence that this company does high quality work. So the only people who will be on this show are people who can produce that same quality work. We're not going to go pick something out of the Yankee Flyer and be like, so-and-so and sons.
Well, maybe not to promote, but if it's somebody that's super talented or super smart, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
Might want to bring them in, give them a little boost.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people are going to probably be hesitant about it because, it's like, it's going to be a ZN platform.
For sure.
But if they can get past that whole competition idea behind what's already been plugged into their brain that they have to, go against every other guy because they're taking food out of their mouth. It's not the case. If they can get past that, I think that they're going to be ready to, come in and talk.
Well, it's just like what we do, right? I mean, say we're on another podcast. I mean, it's their platform, but I was on that one with Dave Brook, and we took some of the clippets of that and posted that stuff. I mean, it's just getting your information and yourself out there more than anything. It doesn't have to be a competition.
No, I think that this business has just been like based on the fact that the other people who do this type of work are your competition. And in reality, it doesn't always have to be like that. If you're not a subcontractor, if you're a direct builder, that they're your strong competition because there's only X, Y, Z available for a job. And it's not the case,
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's busy right now.
that's right out in the open, right? Everyone's in competition for these jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But like I just said before, there's more jobs than can be done by the amount of people that are out there doing them. And that's going to be the case more and more into the future. I mean, look at the amount of tradespeople that are coming out right now. Are there any other young companies?
No.
There's a couple.
Really?
But, I mean, not a lot. Not what there is now. Most of these guys are all older.
Yeah. I mean, you can see it when you go down to the yard. Who's standing around, who's got a big name. I mean, I know a couple of young kids I was talking to, when I'd come over, but they work for, it's all family businesses.
Oh,
it's not like that they just decided to come out and like be an entrepreneur and get in the dirt and mix it up and then start something like this.
For sure.
It was family based, and it was like probably pushed into it, to be honest with you. But who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to want our kids to follow in our footsteps. Oops. Got to get this mic situation sorted out here.
I know this is like kind of the tricky ballpark, trying to make sure that I don't like keep like the distance correct on this.
And we're back.
Amazing.
Perfect.
That's a very short intro, Joe.
I've heard it too many times.
Being our first podcast, I mean, we got to work out all the kinks. Might as well do it on the fly.
I guess. I mean, it's all can't be sitting there like, and now what do we talk about?
Dude, there's not going to be a time where we don't have something to talk about.
We typically don't on a day-to-day basis anyway, so I think that this is just a way to like preserve all the information that we kind of like bounce off each other when we're all in the office anyway.
Well, we were talking about how there's going to be a lack of contractors coming up, but I feel like we should save that for like its own podcast because that's a big topic.
Yeah, I think that the topic of topics is like huge. We got to get that list down and say who looks best for topic A, topic B.
For sure.
Put the topics down and then find the people to, work into that topic.
As our first one, though, I feel like we just need to talk about us, really.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, introduction from most people who don't know the company or what it's about or where it came from.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking this might be the ZN Zach Neville first broadcast on his own.
I can definitely do a broadcast on my own at some point.
Yeah, just for his like, this is the setup.
I'm sure once this thing gets rolling, all those ideas and thoughts that I was saying, I just write notes down on.
Yeah.
Just put together a little 7-minute podcast on them. Yeah.
That's going to be like a huge part of
You
it.
probably will too.
Yeah, I'll be down here like just talking shit into this microphone. Be like, what happened today? This is so ridiculous. I got to tell you. No, I'm just kidding. Just air it all out.
Crazy. It just sounds better when you talking to a mic and hear it in your headset.
It does. It does sound better. I feel like.
Why don't we? Since the three of us are the office guys,
the O team,
coined whenever we first started the office guys. Why don't we go through like a brief synopsis of the company and then how I got into it, how you guys got into it, and just kind of have that be our intro and weave that into where we are now.
Sure, we'll take it away.
So obviously, I started this company in late 2014, early 2015, just as a disgruntled carpenter. Working for other people, didn't really like how I was going. Was going to school full time at the same time, just married. Was tired of where I was, and was like, hey, I think I can do this a little better. And that obviously morphed into hiring some helpers, and that wasn't going good. And Joe came in what, early 2016, summer 2016, something like that.
Yeah.
And at that point, I just remember I had met Joe a few months before, and I remember laying in bed one night and just thinking, I just need somebody who knows what tools are to come and help me.
Just on the basic level of...
I just need someone who knows what a hammer is, what an impact gun is, and maybe how to use them.
I filled those shoes. I knew what a hammer was. I had a leg up.
Started off strong.
Dude, it was terrible back then.
It was rough.
Because you're just finding people that had hands and somewhat of a brain, and they would come and help, and you'd tell them to hold that board there and put it in, and they'd hold it where they wanted it.
Yeah.
Move it after you told them.
Construction's typically not a one-man show, so, I mean, you need a body there to help facilitate the movement
You
of
had
the
some
project.
bodies.
Oh, trust me, I've seen them.
You've seen a few different versions of this team.
I remember the first day you drove into the yard. I'm like, who's this jacked up kid getting out of this truck coming into my yard? I was in the yard, me and Dustin. I'm like, let's go flex on this dude right now.
Right.
And then he got out of the truck, and I'm like, yeah, Dustin, you go alone. I don't really want nothing to do with that dude right now. You go by yourself, go flex out.
I was probably wearing like a sleeveless shirt back
Oh,
then.
hands down. Yeah, I think you got
I was-
out
I
and
was
had to
kinda
put
rough.
your shirt on. I was like, he's trying to show some things around here.
Maybe it was hot out.
It was, and Dustin was like, I got him. You know how Debo is. He's going to be a guest on this show at some point, too. That's a lunatic.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a great episode.
Shout out Dustin.
Shout out Big D, the big homie.
Yeah, dude. Joe, I feel like at that time when I called you and you're like, you would just quit working at Bossy because you were sick of addicts.
Yep.
And I remember talking to Joe, and Joe's like, Sarah just told me Joe just quit Bossy. He doesn't have a job lined up. You should call Joe. So I called you, and I think I literally said, dude, I just need somebody who knows how to use tools.
Right.
Because I think you were just like, I won't be much good to you other than being a helper. But in my head, I was like, dude, if this guy knows something about something, he can be taught how to do the rest. And the rest is history.
Well, to put it in perspective, when I showed up, the guy I met didn't know where the chop saw was.
Like on your first day?
Yeah.
It was in the trailer.
It was right.
We had a trailer at that point. We had just gotten the trailer.
Right. The largest saw in the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, Zach's going to kill me, man. I don't know where it is.
Who was that?
Can't talk.
Starts with a K.
That dude's going to be calling in.
Man.
He's going to be our first caller.
He's a good guy.
Good, yeah, good guy. Just,
First caller, disgruntled employee.
Nah.
well, I just came to help, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a long-term thing. You're like, I got a big siding job. I'm like, all right, I'll come.
Come check it out.
Hang out.
Make some coin.
Never left.
This guy's got a pretty persuasive personality when he wants something, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's how he got me, strong-armed me for 3 years.
I don't know, dude. I feel like I've always had that personality.
It was good. Very convincing.
Just try to work the situation, you know?
Yeah, he came to my house and literally threatened me.
If you don't come and join our team, something's going to happen. I don't know.
Exactly. You're missing out, bro. I said, I know I'm not missing out. Just please hold.
Wait for the right time.
Yeah, it was a team thing for me.
So what would you say? So, Joe, I mean, you've been here since 2016. That's 5 years ago. What would you say? I mean, how was the ride? How has the ride been? What would you say about it?
A lot's changed. Structure. You know, the more guys we got, the more structure you have to put in place, which is good for everyone. And then personnel was the biggest one, too. We started getting good guys,
Yep.
and that's what really changed everything.
Had to make that shift. Before, we were just trying to hire hands
Right.
that didn't really know.
It was noticeable from the outside as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just the level of things that were going on.
Dude, we
When-
were doing big things without all the guys. That
And
were
I remember
solid.
seeing you come in just like out of
Super
your mind,
stressed.
stressed out.
Tired.
Out of your mind, stressed out. Like,
Stupid stressed.
yeah. I'm like, slept this week, bro?
Hey, Zach was in the field full time those days too.
Yep.
And then after work, getting the quotes done.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know.
Making the phone calls.
That was an interesting time. I'm so happy my kids were so young then, because it was like I could put them to bed 6:30, 7 o'clock, boom, on the computer, Monday through Friday. Usually take like one night to like watch TV or like relax or something.
Yeah.
Try to catch it all up.
Yeah, we
Bang out
talked
an hour
about
in the
that
morning.
one time. You couldn't even figure out how many hours in a work week during that time period of your life because it's just so insane.
Probably close to 90,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it was like now it's somewhat like every waking moment, just in a different aspect. But back then it was definitely like every waking moment was
Right.
about work. Didn't take vacations like the first 3 years. Actually, that's not true. 2016, I think I went to San Diego with Declan for like a week. But it was like the whole company shut down.
Yeah,
There was nothing happened.
When you're like the moving cog in the wheel and constantly on site and having to be facilitating materials, projects, everything, when you leave, it's not like the situation that's set up now by any means. You know, you have some leaders in places and that you can rely on, so it's super important.
100%.
That's like such the large growth change that I've noticed was just, you know, sort of the decision to just move past having bodies to have bodies and just make the conscious effort that says, now we're going to have the best carpenters so that nobody really has to watch each other anymore, you know?
And still look for the best. You know what I
Exactly.
mean, that's right that's all over our stuff is like we're looking for the best people that know carpentry, but also like are smart individuals
Yeah.
to help us grow this thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's just going to be the inevitable ball that rolls, you know? It's like the snowball formulation. It's just, as it gets rolling, it gets bigger and bigger. It's like we always use the analogy of like the runaway train. This freaking table squeaking
It's
shit.
rickety, dude. We got to build. I think that's like another thing on the to-do list. We got to build a table.
It's not on the to-do list. It's done.
Is it really?
That's what the surprise is, broski. But we'll
It's
get
already
there.
done?
Not 100%.
Oh,
I need
oh,
the
come
day.
on.
I need day off Dan to handle the other shit.
Dan, taking a day off, man.
Good for him. Was that a cocktail
Oh,
that he
I
had
think
in
that
it?
was a big cocktail.
Dude, that looked like a giant tube
I think
of not feeling well the next morning.
A giant sugary mess.
Dude, that was definitely, and even the kid was like, "Holy cow!" Dan,
His kid had a big old smile on his
I
face.
know.
It's like, Daddy's happy.
That's right. Danny boy was loosey goosey after that. I'm sure of that. So, well,
Why don't you tell your story? I mean, is there anything else left to tell, Joe? Like, what's the biggest change that you've seen? You said there's a lot of changes, a lot of structure was added. Why are we to this point? And from your perspective,
The hustle never stopped,
can't.
you know? And then along the way, the infrastructure grew because we started out one truck. Now we have more. Started out in your basement in the computer. Then the little office. Now Studio ZN.
big
This
time.
office is multi-purpose for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, as far as me, mine is a little bit different, I guess, than most. I've known most of you, most everybody in the company as of right now, prior to me coming here, which is kind of crazy when you like make a career jump. That
Super crazy.
you usually go into a place and you know you're gonna have to establish new relationships with people and figure out the ebb and flow of the whole office and field and kind of how everything works. And yeah, it was crazy because I worked, obviously, not everybody who's listening to this will know, but some of the people who have dealt with us, our customers have dealt with me in the past at Miners, the lumberyard, our primary supply house. And worked there for about a decade, moved up through the ranks there with my man D, and ended up moving inside to do sales, and then watched the company go through pretty serious changes pretty quick. Like I saw Zach coming in, and the project turned out from like loading him with like, you know, a couple $100 worth of material to getting phone calls for $1,000 deliveries and stuff. So, and then, you know, me and Zach struck a relationship because I appreciated like the idea behind the project, behind the company, you know, not just on a business level, but on like more an ethical and moral level that he was trying to build for the team around him.
Dude, before you get into all that, pause on the team around me. But obviously we met like out in the yard. You kind of told that story, but the first time that I started building a relationship with you was on that monster deck
in Avon.
Is in Canton on Queens Peak Road.
Was it in Canton? I don't
You
know.
always think it was in Avon.
I swear it was on like Stony Corners, but yeah, it was. It was
all right up there.
Timber deck, or
Northington.
Brown deck, Trex deck. I can't remember.
Trex transcends. I think it was like Tiki Torch or something like that.
It was a beautiful deck. It's still on the
Gorgeous.
website. Still on
the website.
Yeah.
I had no idea what those products were or what they wanted, and you're just like, I'm like coming in like, so my client wants a deck and it's big, and they want to rip off all this old cedar. This is before you started, Joe.
Right.
A couple months only.
I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, because we had just gotten the trailer. It wasn't even built out yet. The first, the black trailer. Rip off all this old cedar, put in composite. They want what everyone else wants, you know. Low maintenance, looks gorgeous, stays.
Yeah, the matchy to the house.
Oh, yeah. And I had never done a big, complicated deck like that before. I put on decking, but never myself, and never with like, what's it called?
Like transition
A border,
boards, picture
transitions,
frame.
picture frame, the whole 9 yards, transcends railing. So you're like, oh, come over here.
Did I
I'll
sit
help
in
you
like
out.
when they
You were sitting
exiled
in
me?
You were sitting in Rob Sager's chair.
Oh, I was. Okay, so
You
that was
just started
the
in there.
first position that I had. I
Yeah.
literally have sat in all the seats downstairs.
You had just started in there, and I had just walked in, and I was like, hey, you used to be out in the yard. And you're like, nope, I'm in here now. Starting sales. I was like, well, I need help. You're like, all right, I will help. And you really like walked me through that whole deck with all the materials and stuff. We got everything ordered, had the client come down, they picked out their stuff. They really liked you. Who doesn't, you know?
Oh, I did. I did meet the client. See, I remember the decking project. I have more.
You have so many projects you worked on down there, though. How are you going to remember all of them?
It's crazy, the elephant brain. I have a lot of memory on like specific projects that you did over the course of the years that I wasn't even like technically involved in. You know, I know that there was that first one with the Hardy sighting.
Oh, yeah.
Over there, and Luther was involved. And actually, I'll be name dropping if this thing goes live. Then fuck it. Shot Lou, you're great. Lou, you're great if you listen to this shit. I'm not
at
talking
Miners,
trash.
I feel like it doesn't really matter. We're so close to them.
But it's so funny because I always knew that, like, at the end of the day, like, if you had a problem, he would call me. Like, let's get this figured out, you know? So there's that, like, trust issue or trust thing that starts off really, really great. And then, like I said, from the beginning, I knew that this company was bigger than even what I think you thought it could be at that stage when we first met. I knew you had ideas, but, you know, we hadn't sat and talked. And then at one point, Zach literally had me to his house, and I went into the basement, like he talked about, and he showed me kind of how it was done down there. And in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I was like, but I don't know. I'm like,
so fresh.
Yeah, and I'm like, some of these guys that are here that I'm not thinking they're here long haul. I'm about to risk it all right now, and I don't know if I got that backup squad behind it, you know? And then once it was in, and look at the guys we have now, it's freaking insane. You know, like I said, some of the most talented people I've seen, and I've been around a long time. And yeah, we just had a conversation and made the jump, man. I mean,
I was stoked when you came here.
I used to talk to Joe all the time on the phone, and all the guys came through. So like I said, there was already a relationship built there. So it was just a matter of where the company was as far as what I thought.
And where you were.
Yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
had to be in the right place to come, too.
I did have to.
Because I had talked to you about that. I mean, you always say, like, so many people have said, come work for me.
Just the other day.
And I talked to you a couple times about it before. I mean, I try not to say it like that. I always say, like, come join the team, man. It's like a movement, you know?
Exactly.
But But still, like, I had definitely approached you with it a couple times before.
We've
it
had-
just wasn't the right time.
We had so many long conversations that I don't think anybody in this company knows about, like hours and hours, multiple days.
No, they don't.
About
Because we were friends back then.
exactly,
you know?
exactly.
Still are.
And that
closer.
a lot of that at the beginning, a lot of the reason that was hard for me to make that jump, to be honest, and I don't think everybody else knows it, is because of the relationship we built. You know, it's like, so now I got to relearn, like, we're boys now, but now you're the boss. When I come in and punch in, like, how's that going to work? Like, we knew each other, but we didn't know each other on a work level.
Right.
So it was a huge
Is this guy
amount-
going to be a huge dick? Like,
Yeah, I
once
could
his-
see that
once the
right out
boss
the
comes
gate.
in
I was
front?
like, this fucking guy. No, it was like, that was one of the only reasons. Like, the trust issue was there too. It was there was not an issue. It was like I had all the trust in the world in it. You know, it was just a lot of it was like people, players in the game. You know, because we all have families, we all have things we got to do. I mean, I was pretty good at my job at Miners, so it was a set up establishment for me. It was just I believed in this dream more. You know, I liked what you had to bring and kind of the foundation that you were putting down then. And even that has just morphed into something so massive. It's crazy. It's its own, like, thing. It's like alive. It's crazy.
Well, that's what we're trying. That's what you have to build, I feel like, to get that big. And you were saying, you know, you didn't know if I knew, like, where I wanted it to go. I always had the dream and, like, the, objective, but I had no idea how to get there. You know, isn't that, I feel like that's right with any goal, like any goal that anyone sets, you know, like you set a goal, you want to do this, but you don't know how. You have to figure out how.
Right.
But once you establish that goal, then you can start working towards it. And that's kind of like how this thing's been is at the start. I mean, I just wrote that letter, like the state of the company letter that I wrote to everyone.
Yeah, last week.
I think I mentioned it in there. Like at the start, like I had no idea that we needed to build a team like this. I had no idea that we needed to hire only experienced carpenters, you know?
Yep.
But you kind of learn as you go and you find, I mean, I try to put put myself in everyone's shoes and be in everyone's shoes at one point or another. And, I don't know, like you find a path,
Yeah.
find a way to go.
For sure. I think you set a goal and it was a high watermark on that goal. And like you say, you did not know how to get there, but you knew it was going to have to get done because that's like not who you are as a
Right.
person. Like over all the years, I've known anything that you wanted to do, no matter how hard it is, it gets done inevitably. you
Right.
know? Like every second of it is like constantly thinking about like, okay, I still can't get there. I got to finish this. This has to be done.
This step has to be done.
Even in
before
the
you
field
can get
when
to
we've
this
worked
one.
together, it's like, so go in, end project. That's where we go. You start at the end and then make it to the end.
Right.
And that's pretty crazy. You know, not a lot of people have that. They kind of see a big picture, but don't have the end goal. So that was pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see, like, and I think it affects everybody too, you know.
What do you mean?
Everybody on the team gets a piece of it. You know, it rubs off on people. When everybody's clicking and kind of striving for the same thing, that it's infectious.
For sure. Well, dude, you know me. I mean, my whole thing with this is like, how do we build a place where it's fun to go to work and where you want to be at work and you want to do the thing, but also like you get a piece of it.
Right.
Like I try to be like as generous as possible for that reason, because everyone's putting in time, they're putting in effort, they're putting in, I don't know, work to build this thing. And it's got to be our company, our dream, our place.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's helping to facilitate the end goal,
Right.
you know, and I know that's not lost on you. So it makes it easy. You know, trust me, anybody who's in this industry knows that every day is, I've been doing this a long time. I never had a day that went totally smooth. You know what I mean? Like, cool. Did I just like, am I like Neo from the Matrix? Did I just dodge every bullet out the gate? No, you didn't. You just got to like be on top of it and
Figure out how to work past it and still keep your goals front of mind.
right. And then that's it. Just keep the train rolling.
Keep it rolling, dude.
Yeah.
That's why this whole podcast thing is just like another step in that direction.
Well, it's like we always sit and like we're talking, we're hanging out, you know, and we're having a couple beers, not necessarily just in the office, but on the weekends or whenever we're together. And it's always a conversation. And that's like what sparked it to me is like we get some of the most valuable information when we're just sitting there just bullshitting.
100%.
And then it's like, damn, I went back and I'm like, we talked about a lot of shit. Like, I wish I could remember every piece of that. Because then I could pull and dissect it. But like, we go through so many different topics and so many things sound like great. And we're not both sitting there with notepads, like writing it down. We're just off the cuff shooting the shit. And then now it's like, even if this is just like round table bullshit talk, like it's recorded, it's live. We can go back and play and pull from it.
But still, there's nuggets in here, you know. I mean, this one's kind of like the first one, so it's like that's why I wanted to do the overview of the company and how you guys got involved, how I got involved, all that. But there's going to be some nuggets out of this conversation. There's going to be some nuggets out of the next conversation.
I know you're going to like pour through this thing. There's like 9 hours of editing on this coming up.
Right. I feel like it's really strange. It's just interesting to hear yourself talk. Like, interesting to hear a conversation of yourself.
It is. Like, I found it more crazy when we just, like, took our little pause there and then played it through to hear myself without talking. Like, this doesn't bother me because we do this all day, every day in here.
Exactly.
So it's when I actually hear somebody replaying a conversation that we had, and I'm like, wow, that's trippy. That's super insane to think about. Like, now we actually have recorded content of the ins and outs of the daily movement of this place.
The grind.
Except we're not sitting over there and we're not recording us yelling at our vendors and having
complaining about all the problems we have to solve.
Mini tweak out episodes. Exactly.
We just want it to run right.
Where's my tile?
Everything is fine all the time here at ZN.
That's what everyone thinks. They're going to listen to these and they're going to be like, oh, these are just some real dudes.
That's right.
They're just going through it.
Well, all the contractors who end up like plugging in and tuning in and be like, see, they're talking that real talk right there. Like, we have to go.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, I know that. I'm super stressed out currently listening to this. Still, it's like you said, I still love waking up in the morning, even though I know it's going to be like a crazy rugged day. Like if you got projects starting or whatever, Joe knows that feeling, you know that feeling. And you're just like, all right, be prepared.
There will be a problem today.
Your phone will ring at some point.
Somebody will want a solution.
Be on your toes.
Somebody's going to be unhappy.
Yep.
Dude, after last week, this week feels much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
It's always week to week. You just got to get through it. Me and Zach say like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because that's when like Wednesday gets that back end slide.
By the time Thursday, Friday roll around, most of the issues are finished. You're able to just like focus on the big stuff. That's kind of how this whole podcast thing came about so quick. We talked, I think, on Wednesday night or something like that.
Yeah.
Thursday morning, woke up early, ordered all this stuff.
Yep.
And came in.
Friday it made its way into the office.
Unless you have that kind of margin, that time margin, though, there's no way to like get anything big done.
No, I mean, well, you'll do it. That's what I say. There's that like that drive. If you spark Zach's brain, and it's like, and he's
you know
like
me better
on
than
it.
I know me.
If he's on it, dude, just get out of the way. Like, don't even try to get involved in the deal because you're just gonna like just get steamrolled because he's already has like 90,000 ideas on how to make the shit happen. So it's like all you have to do is just be like, yeah, what about this? Like it, love it, talk to you later, and then the shit showed up at the office, so we're doing it live.
Right? How better to get into it than just jump in with both feet, you know?
I guess.
Or head first.
Yeah, I mean, if we sat here and just like kind of wrote down stuff, and then when it wouldn't feel as real as this. It probably would have been a little more intimidating too, to be honest.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
this is just a conversation. I mean, that's how most of these things are going to be, especially with a beer in your hand. It's going to be smooth.
Yeah, all you're going to hear is like. You should just do the soundtrack, and we'll just blame soundtrack for this.
Isn't that how Rogan does all his? He's always drinking whiskey, that guy.
Probably, yeah. I think he's actually like legit smoking weed with like Elon Musk and shit.
Dude, imagine that conversation talking to the probably one of the most powerful people in the world.
Yeah, and Elon's like guy in who like has to be his PR guy is literally stroking out in the corner watching Tesla profit drop into the toilet
as they light it.
Yeah, he's over there like, oh my god,
that's old news.
This is happening. Yeah, but it's so funny, like, you know, the things that we're going to say on here, we do have to like realize that that's the dangerous thing about having a podcast and having an opinion. If we're just sitting out here, like just talking, but we're talking shop, those things are factual. When we start, talking about things that are perspective, this is still going to go out to people who may not share the same ideas. So,
100%. I mean, I feel like there's value there, though. Like, sure, you definitely want to be professional. This is a professional environment,
sure,
100%. But there's value in like putting yourself out there. No one does that.
No, I agree, 100%. That's why I was on board with it.
You're the first one to say you wear your heart on your sleeve, dude. I wear my heart on my sleeve with most things. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the first one to share my opinion or my viewpoint, even though I might be wrong. Sometimes I'm way wrong, but I mean, there's value in doing that as long as you can know to be humble and know that you are wrong, and there's things that you can always learn. I mean, we might put some stuff out here that ruffles some feathers, but I don't think we will. I think it's going to be great.
Me too. But even if it does, it's all real. It's like, I don't think we're going to be sitting here having off topics about some crazy stuff. We're going to be
that movie with Tom Cruise, and he's like an army JAG officer, an army lawyer.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's
Few
it called?
Good Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Few Good Men.
I think. Where he's like, the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The truth. You want the truth?
Jack Nicholson.
The truth is,
I
6 feet from a wall.
Yeah.
That's such a great line. I think it's one of the most greatest lines written in movie history.
Dude, that's the problem, though. I mean, a lot of people really can't handle the truth.
No.
If it smacked them across the face.
No, and it's real. That's why I think like a lot of these things we're going to have topics, and I know you and me talked about a lot of different like kind of random topics, but like talking about, like lumber prices, how they affect things. Like people just sit out there and want to say,
everything's unrelated.
This is all so expensive. I can't do this project. It's like we didn't just wake up and pick random numbers to tell you.
Right.
We have to do our homework to see what it's going to cost to do the project. And, some people are going to be like, wow, I didn't even realize, like, what was going on.
Or what goes into it.
Exactly.
You get that all the time. I think, honestly, most people think that we just sit in here and, like, throw numbers against the wall for what their thing is. Oh, my bathroom? 20 grand. Oh, yeah, they just pulled that number right out of a hat. Here you go.
How's that working out?
There's a lot of thought that goes behind every one of these quotes.
Yeah, the garbage can that is currently my bag would totally say something different about how this goes down, Right. Nine notebooks, like just scrap things crumpled up in there. We're like, oh, no, we got to do that over. That's not right. That's not right.
Got to remember that bit of the project and that bit of the project. And, you got to do that with 12 different projects that you're quoting all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I wish.
And be exact. And if you don't have all the details right and we go to do the project, the guys are going to be mad at you.
Dude, they're the ones.
Hold it together.
Them dudes are rugged.
Well, they just want perfection, dude. They want it to go smooth.
And I know some of them will sit here if they ever hear this, and it's like, because it's their first one, they're going to laugh because I know you fucking guys out there are just wolves picking it apart. And just wait for that one, and you'll be like, I got that guy now. Just like, I know you guys, they got me on speed dial, me, Joe, and Zach. They're like, look at this. He made a mistake. Boop.
Got him.
What are we supposed to do here, Steve?
Yeah.
Shit. You want to be like, shit, I forgot. I missed that part.
Right.
It's like, that's when you got to be on the fly.
Oh, yeah.
What does it look like? How does it do this? Make it happen. But in their head, they already have the answer most of the time.
They just want to give you a hard time.
I know. It's funny. Half of it's like stresses me out. And if they knew how much stress they gave us, I think they would think it's hysterical.
They would, or maybe they'd actually think about us and like not give us as much stress. That'd be nice.
A couple of them heard me have massive road rage incidents while they were giving me like a rash on the phone. And I'm like, just taking it from them, but then the guy behind me is like honking at me, giving me the bird.
Oh, give it out.
And then it's just, I'm going to literally just let it sweep through me back onto that guy, And they're like, I'll let you go. I'll talk to you later.
Well, dude, you can only handle so many problems at a time. Like last week, you and I are talking, Rob comes up, he's got a problem. I'm like, dude, I just can't handle that problem today. Like, save that one for next week.
Exactly. And you're like, I don't even have a way to like say this nice. It's just like, it's guys.
Just no.
Just no. That's all it was. Something I can do? No. Sorry, bub. No.
Yep.
Timing was unremarkably perfect at that moment in time.
I feel like you wouldn't be able to know unless you were in the shoes, though.
No, that's how we live all of this. Like in construction, especially like remodeling, it's moment to moment. Like something can change so fast. Like, okay, so we got in what we think we're using for material. Perfect example. You get there, they peel out. Dude, not the same.
Completely different.
Totally different. That's
We ordered all half-inch sheetrock. Oh, it's 5/8. Why?
Yes.
It just is.
Been there.
Dude, how are you ever going to know until you demo? You got all the old sheetrock you got to take back, go get 5/8. Like, what are you going to do?
That's big shout out to the, the guys who do take care of us,
100%.
Miners got it pretty on lock over there. They do pretty bang up job.
Sure do, man. Where else I had a roof job for the Schulitzes. And we realized that when we strip it, that it's 3-ply, 3/8 inch plywood on the roof, and it's all delaminating.
Oh, that's brutal.
Dude, got numbers from Dustin, talked to the homeowner, sorted it out. Within an hour and a half, all the new plywood was on the job, ready to go.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
that's a zero downtime. That's what you need because he understands the concept that time is money.
We just stripped this whole roof. Now I got to rip the plywood, and then we're going to have nothing to do. All the guys are going to be sitting on the grass.
Yeah.
You know?
Just staring at you. Like, what are we supposed to do right
What
now?
do we do now?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. They've hooked it up a couple
For
times.
sure.
What was
And
your
that's why they're our
beam
number
job
one.
for Joe? Still going to be the record. I got a picture of that on my old phone, man. Boom truck dropping in 28-foot, 14-inch beam.
That was a big one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I think I still got some freaking spinal fracturing from that job. Seriously, I shrunk like an inch after that job.
Just compressed.
Oh, it's all just compressed. There's
Just
no.
need to go get stretched, dude.
That's
Stretch
it.
right back out.
I need to really try one of those like upside down things. Has anybody been on one of those?
No, but you can recreate it yourself at the playground.
Well, I don't have like the boots and buy all like that. I'll be that
No,
weird
just
guy.
put your knees over the bar.
I'll be that guy at the
Just hold yourself
park.
upside down. You know?
Make sure to wear
Just
the
here playing with
ZN.
my daughter.
Yeah, make sure to wear the ZN sweatshirt upside
It'll be
down.
upside
Someone
down. It'll be
Post
good.
me on social media.
Look at what these guys do in their free time.
What if I got stuck there? That'd be like ultra embarrassing. My daughter's 5, definitely can't help.
You can't have to just fall on your head.
No, because the boots like have hooks that they like click into the bar. So like you have to literally like do the pull up or like reverse sit up and then unhook your stuff and climb down. I need like the chair.
Not for the faint of heart.
That'd be all right. Trust me. Worst situations out of that. If it's like a matter of like full on embarrassment or get hurt by getting out of it, I'm getting hurt and getting out of it.
Yep. We've been in a lot of situations.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I got to sit down and put together all the stuff. This is like going to be pretty exciting for you to like kind of map this out.
I know, dude. Got my work cut out for me.
I think it's going to come super easy. This whole thing did,
Piece of cake. Once you get on and start talking. Even
Yeah.
Joe talked. What do you think? What do you think about the podcast, Joe?
Way to put me on the spot.
You're gonna be front and center on the camera from now on.
It's all right.
Yeah. What do you think about the name?
It's good. Better than 3 carpenters, 1 shed.
Yeah,
That's
that's like
what I was thinking.
that's like a name of a very sketchy movie.
And I feel like you could take that name in so many different ways. Like that could be terrible.
Bridge told me a name last night, or the day I woke up. The night before had given me a name that I thought was great, and then I just was outside talking to her like during our break, and told her, she's like, "Did you tell Zach the name?" I'm like, "No, he already told me the name," and she was like, "What is it?" And I told her Building Excellence. She's like, "Damn."
Does she
That's
like
like-
it?
It's a good
Yeah,
one.
she's like, that's like a double-edged. It's like a double entendre. Just like has so many different variables between 2 words, and
Right.
like the combination of the two is so many things. Yeah, she was stoked.
Dude, it's in our handbook, and
Please hold microphone. Let's see if we can plug in our first caller.
who is it?
Rob over at the deck.
Oh, nice. get some live
Going on
action.
this shit.
Huh?
Going live on it for sure.
Nice. Should we try to loop him in?
No, because he doesn't know. He's gonna be like,
He's gonna say some crazy things.
yeah. He just called too.
Yeah, right. He called somebody else right after.
It literally just stopped ringing.
He's probably calling my phone right now. Yeah, dude. So that's in our handbook all the time, and it kind of like summarizes. Excellence kind of summarizes like our company and where we're trying to go. You know, we're trying to be the best company that we can be. We're trying to deliver excellent experiences for our clients. We're trying to build each other up, deliver excellence to our families, to our personal lives.
Yeah, that's the end goal.
It's the end goal, you know, and through that, positively impact other people around us. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I was thinking about Rush and the golden EIB microphone when I was holding this mic on my kitchen table, and then trying to think of like something short and sweet that could be used for many different fields, not just carpentry, you know?
Yeah, I think it was brilliant. You know, it was like, I got up and I like looked at him like, I wonder if he was up all night trying to think about this. It's just
Popped
lightning
in, dude.
bolt.
That's why we did that brainstorming session, you know?
I have to like text Rob back and be like, you literally just called me.
He called you as he was figuring out his own problem.
What are the odds of them doing that? He let it
I mean,
ring.
hopefully pretty good.
He let it ring full tilt. So
What we're trying to get him to do.
let's do it. I want to see how this plays out over the airwaves.
Call him back.
He might have just moved on from the topic. So
Just gonna be like, why are you calling me so many times?
famous lines, you call me first. Probably wants those angle hangers or something. I mean, he sent me a picture of that deck. That deck was straight demoed
It's good.
like a while ago.
It's because we got pros on it.
What time was that at? Dude, 11:58 strip bare.
Yep.
So hopefully they went and did knock them stairs free and then started doing cement. And they're doing it without the trailer today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it's like
Because one is at Eric's job and one is at Joe's?
correct.
Gotcha.
So they're doing it all on like
Personal tools?
yep, I brought over
Someone
the
probably went to the trailer and grabbed all their stuff.
no, I think Ryan just brought the Sawzall. I brought my skill saw. I picked up a new blade at Miners and just left that in case somebody didn't have it.
Nice.
And like, there you go. That's your ripper. But it's all nailed. So that 2x was in the back. So I used that for like a prior.
Nice.
And that just went off. It's
That
just,
$14 2x4?
yes, tomorrow it's 28. Thank you to all our listeners.
Lumber keeps.
You know, it's a good topic of conversation like that we'll probably have is like I just got an email from a guy and gave him like I was saying, you know, to resurface your deck is XYZ. To rebuild it completely is XYZ. He didn't specify. And he's like, Steve, I had no idea you could just resurface a deck. You know what I mean? So it's like all these things. And when we talk about like bathroom projects, you know, a lot of these people want to do a whole new bathroom project when just an upgrade of fauceting or new, like upgrade your plumbing, you know what I mean? Get a fresh
Really,
coat
the
of paint, the floor, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be
Doesn't
this
have to be the
massive.
whole thing.
No, you don't
A lot
have
of people don't realize that you just break the project apart.
Correct.
Like, we can only do the floor. We could only do the walls. We could only do the tub. But I mean, people don't know. That's why we're here. We're the pros. We got to help to disseminate the information and get them in the know.
Yeah, I think that's why this is going to be a lot more valuable than probably we even think of at this point. Because people who are watching because they like the company and they like the personalities in it. But just offshoots of that, you got to check this out, might spark somebody idea that we're talking about. And just, you know, they were thinking I could never afford one of these bathrooms I see on, you know, Instagram that these guys are doing this high-end stuff. But
They're thinking it's $50,000 when the bathroom they're looking at is $20,000.
exactly, where we kick them knowledge and we can be like, you know, you don't always have to put that, you know, $10,000 into a bathroom, new vanity, new light fixtures, some paint on the walls, you know, upgrade anything in there. I mean, you can still do a lot of different stuff for for what your budget proposes.
Unfortunately, sometimes though, it's like people really want this, like
Right.
the full business, you know, and you can't do that in some bathrooms.
No.
And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, but like the best thing you can do is just save and do the whole thing at once. Is how you're going to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's why I think the painting thing has just jumped so hard. You know, people understand the concept. Like, you can really make the house look a lot different by just adding paint, like throughout their home.
Right.
You know, like I've been seeing a ton of kitchen counter, like cabinet painting.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get one online so
Like,
that they can see the before and after
Right.
thing.
Well,
You know,
it's coming. I got that one coming up real quick.
when's that happening?
The week of the 28th,
End of this month?
end of this month. Yeah.
Wow, sick. That'll be a good time to shine right before
The 4th.
the 4th. Yeah, because, you know, people will be around, people looking at the thing. That's going to have to be a super pump week.
Of social media stuff.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's got to be just like a straight dump of all media.
Dude, that's the craziest thing. Like years back, we never would have been able to think of just taking a week off in the middle of the busy season for the entire company, paid.
Paid.
Like, how are you going to do that? Yeah, it's going to cost the company money, but it's worth it. You know, like we earned it. We're working hard.
Oh, yeah, the guys know that was like, there was a crazy push when I was on away and you
To
had the
clear
end
the
of the
board.
week to clear that board to Ryan. Double time that shit. He was out there doing,
Ryan killed it.
dude, 2 jobs like a day, like just bouncing, going, buttoning stuff up, getting materials. Like,
Good on him, dude.
dude, that dude was motivated.
Oh
I
yeah,
did four or five of mine in one day.
Yeah.
just
between
moving
everyone.
people around.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
on. It was on Friday.
On a
Sweet.
Friday, no less.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
that's-
juggling was crazy going on.
We're gonna have Ryan on here this next podcast, but
Yes,
That's-
hello?
stole it straight from Joe.
Exactly.
That's huge, though, dude. Like that's that just shows that like the guys are motivated and want it. You know.
Well, yeah, too. And I think Ryan that doesn't wear well on him. You know, he doesn't
No.
like things starting to get stale over there, you know, because he knows he's inevitably going to have to handle it. So it's like, if he has the time and the ability during that week, because that was the week of the beam job at the church, that just so happened to be open. You know what I mean?
No way.
It was the
next week.
Yeah, but like it would like
They were
rolled
coming right
into
off
it.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it had time to like kind of move stuff around and fall into that, and he took full advantage of the shit. It was crazy, you know. And then on top of it, it was just like perfect.
Because he's the man.
for sure.
Jumping in,
Told him that shit yesterday.
grabbing it by the horns.
Told him that shit yesterday. I was like, just don't yell at me anymore. He started that.
Oh man, what do we have for time, Joe?
45.
45 minutes. We should probably end this thing.
Wrap it up, Joey. Give me some sound
Give
effects.
you an
Gotta get
outro.
some- yeah.
Just want to go ahead and thank our sponsors. Today we're brought to you by Stanley Tool. Please send us some hammers and tape measures.
The Dean Grande version, of course.
Also, DeWalt, if you're listening, I could use a couple more batteries and an impact.
Yeah.
Thank
Tip
you.
on that. Who stole my Impact? Brand new. Looking for you.
Oh boy.
That's out now. I've been looking secretly for it. It's out now. Coming for you.
My that is Eric. He's the one who has that.
It's DeWalt, though. Like, he's
Nah,
such a
nah.
Makita.
You have Makita.
I have a secret brand new DeWalt that has shown up and gone missing one time. Yes.
Oh.
That was like my house piece. My house piece. I was out of juice, like, in the Makitas. And I was like, dude, this thing's always charged. I got to grab this today. And then a magical disappearance.
You know who you are.
Hey, that's where all my toys go.
Exactly. Get at me,
They
whoever
go
got
to
that.
die.
That's right.
Until next time.
Yeah, that one is not on the loaner list, so
And fade.
did you really fade it out?
Yeah.